they are currently featuring
Battlefield 1 experience in Battlefield 6. This was created by
Happy Camper and BF Dale. They got full XP on it.
Well, campers, we finally did it. Our first feature on the Battlefield 6 main menu has been completed. It was so awesome to see everyone having fun. More importantly, to see how the map actually played with dozens of full lobbies. Seeing everyone play gave me invaluable information to now take this map to the next level and make it a truly epic and worthy Battlefield 6 experience. Today I'm going to do a fly-through of the updated Mirak Valley map while telling you about patch updates. I've made significant upgrades to each sector so that they are more immersive, more action-packed, and more balanced. Starting with the River Somme, I've pulled the attacker HQ back and have added more distance between that HQ and the A point. At the A point, I've brought the actual objective into the center of the trench lines and have added significantly more buildings, cover, and props. The real changes on the River Somme start to come into play when you get back into the B and C sector. I've completely moved the C sector and built an entire outpost from the ground up. By moving this sector up to be more parallel with B and adding a whole new section of trenches, I'm expecting that there's going to be intense, chaotic battle constantly between the B and C points. I'm really hoping that with this new layout, it's going to be a meat grinder to get to the first point, and then once broken through, it's a lot of back and forth. You'll note some new electric towers in here. I wanted to extend the theme and add a little bit more cover, and I found one of these broken ones and I thought it was too cool to not add. Last thing that you'll notice in this first sector is that I've also moved the Defender's HQ back significantly and have added plenty of room for the jets to take off. This area will also be the HQ for the attackers once the sector advances from River Somme to Passanddale. All right, let's talk about Passanddale. There wasn't a lot to change or fix. This sector was working pretty well, but I really wanted to dial up the immersion and try to recreate the energy of the original Passanddale map from Battlefield 1. So what I've done here is significantly blown out the destroyed forest, not only with a ton more of destroyed tree lines, but I've added in dozens of burning stumps and logs to really make it feel like this place was just hit with some napalm. I've added a little bit more trench around the perimeter of the B site, and then lastly added some more cover coming in from the new Defender HQ into the map. I know this part especially was problematic with spawn camping, so with the new HQ, there should be no trouble getting oriented and finding your way onto the map without getting camped. It will also help to have an attack chopper and a few jets, as well as transports to help break out if needed. Now, let's get into the last portion of the map, Argon Forest, which has seen the most significant overhaul of all three sectors. For this area, I have completely rebuilt nearly everything. Most notably, the sea point and the entire bunker and trench structure that goes with it. I found a new way to create some tunnel features using assets in different ways. So it was really cool to see this come to life in a more neat and polished way and change up the overall scale of it. I've brought in the outpost aesthetic from River Somme to replace the bunker on top of the hill. And I'm really expecting to be some crazy multi-level battles in this new section. I've also done some serious quality of life upgrades to the A point, adding in multiple doors as well as a whole bunch of new props. These new doors are really going to change the dynamic there, as it allows people to hide and defend their positions a little bit tighter. The last major change that you'll note throughout the map, as you've probably seen, is I've changed how the boundaries are working for out of bounds. I've started to lean into more large rock structures to create cliffs and mountains to keep the battlefield enclosed. It seems to be working pretty well. I'm sure people will find a way to try to get up on top of them, but I think this is going to be a much better solution to what we had before. Now, as we go through kind of our final clips, I want to show off a lot of the map and as much footage as I can, but also wanted to use this as a chance to just talk about the feature and what I learned, and how that's led to updates and changes into this latest full version of the map. So, when that feature went live, I actually had no idea that it was coming. I had gotten a message from some of the devs about 8 hours before, the night before, that it was going to happen, and I unfortunately misread their message and thought I had more time. I actually had a decent patch ready to go that would fix a lot of the stuff, but when I had gone to upload it and update the server, it was locked. So that's why I've been waiting until now to be able to push these updates live. Also, we really stress tested those servers. We made those 30 hertz servers cry. I probably cried more because of all the lag, but it definitely helped me see where we could optimize a bit more. Shout out again to Lieutenant Dale. He's been hard at work, really looking at the bugs. I think with this new patch, we fixed the issue where the sector doesn't advance and the scoreboard freezes. So fingers crossed from here on out, that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Really, it was interesting to see how people played the map, though, and see, what areas were intuitive, see what areas were intuitive and what areas were not. There were definitely parts of the map that I thought were going to get played more that didn't, and other areas that got played a lot more than they did. Watching the flow and how the flags were kept really informed the changes I made, especially to some. And lastly, all this information, it was what allowed me to really make some key decisions about how I was going to restructure the map. And now I can finally go hard into the immersion that you've seen. I have made the decision, however, to pull the Damavan Peak, Metro, and Dragon Valley map from rotation. I'll be putting that onto its own code. It just wasn't playing how I wanted it to, and I'm not sure the assets are there to really make it as good as it should be. So for now, we're going to keep the main ZHSPM code just to this Mirak Valley map. On that note, I'm also going to be launching an additional hardcore code of the Mirak Valley map. I've gotten a lot of requests for it, and up until this point, I haven't done it just because I didn't want to split up player bases. I'm hopeful and optimistic that we'll have enough now that we can have players on both hardcore as well as regular servers at any given time, because more people have discovered the mode. We'll keep an eye on it and adjust as needed. And lastly, do want to give an update on season. I still am planning to release both Zavad and Operation Hastings. With the feature, I did have to pause first to try to patch my map, but really I wanted to enjoy the moment and play with people and just soak the most out of that feature that I could. So now, with that delay, I'm going to let Season 2's drop die down a little bit from the official game and look to release my Season 2 either at the end of February or the start of March. I'm excited to use this extra time to put that extra polish in, see what additional assets and opportunities we have with Season 2 coming to Portal, and continue to make these maps as good as they can be. As always, thank you all for the support in playing. Be sure to check out my Discord at discord.gg/happycampertv. No E in camper. This is always going to be the best place to get updates, to see when playtests are going to go live, and to connect with the community that fills up the servers daily. I'll see you all on the battlefield. Tell a friend, have some fun. Take care.